Well, happy Monday, everybody. I hope everybody is having a good start to their week. We are going to be having Class 6 in the online judging series this week, and we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to switch it up and go into sheep. We're going to do some Wether dams. I know one trend you've probably noticed is that everything's been on the breeding side. I am going to try to switch over into the market animal side of things as well. The difficulty with that is I do want to see if I can get some rear and top views so that you can read some more muscle in these animals. And so currently working on that, bear with me. But for this week, we'll stick with the breeding side of things. We're going to do a class of Wether dams. I think it's a really nice class, a ton of differences, especially from a reasons perspective that you could certainly talk about and bring up if you were to talk reasons on these. And so, a good class. Hope you guys are enjoying this. If you have any feedback on this so far, please don't be afraid to shoot me an email at bfrench6@unl.edu. I'd be happy to hear your feedback and any adjustments you think I should make to this moving forward. So, here we go. Class 6 Wether dams. Here's female number 1. There's number 2. Number 3. And number 4. And here's all 4 of them here for you. Get you a placing pause, get you a placing here, and we'll go back and run through these individually and make it official here at the end. Okay, so we go back to female number 1. She's a blue fibered ewe. That's certainly an ID that you'd want to use on her, or somewhat natural colored, that kind of thing, however you'd want to ID her. She's very shaggy-legged as well. She's the shaggy-legged ewe in here, and certainly that helps her balance and her look from the outside. This is one that your initial impression of ought to be pretty good. If we look at the fundamentals of what she brings to the table, really good built, good design female that's got all the proper angles. She's level up top. She's square out of her hip. I think she has a really nice hip and hind leg set, especially when she sits them down on that much foot and bone, that much substance there at the surface. She's a really good round-bodied ewe that I think has a ton of power and dimension. I know we don't get to step in behind this particular female, but I think you can see the shape to her upper hip and lower stifle there in her rear 1/3. I think if we study her from a look and balance perspective, I think she does that quite well. No doubt about it. Really good in her underlying progression from her chest back to her rear flank. If I wanted to get picky on her, she's not the sleekest neck thing we've ever seen, and I think she could be a little touched up there at the point of her shoulder. Maybe wants to toe out a touch up front, but that's getting awfully critical on a really, really nice female. One that when we see her and you see this kind, initially we ought to be thinking, man, this one's going to be pretty hard to beat. Wonder what else is in this class to compete with her. Really good balance, good made, nice design female that comes with that extra power and stoutness that we're after. We go to female number 2, and I think the first thing that comes to mind here is she has a little more quality about her head and neck, maybe a little sleeker in terms of her neck carriage there up front. She's a smooth-shouldered female that I think is good in her lines, level up top. She's one that, to me, is also pretty good in her underline progression. I don't see many issues there. I think she has a good hip and hind leg set. So from a build and balance standpoint, I think this one really, truly excels. A lot of build and balance pieces that you can certainly buy into. Her downfall, maybe in my opinion, she's a little frailer at the surface. She's a little more cut in there in her lower leg. Looks a little flatter and narrower if we would get it right in behind this one. Maybe not quite as bold and open about her center body. Not quite as round-ribbed as the one ewe that we saw in here already. But again, lots of femininity, lots of quality, and good looks about this one through her front 1/3. We have to appreciate that about her. Design, pattern is not an issue. I think she could use a little extra punch of power, especially in terms of her lower leg. Maybe a little more true body shape and stoutness there at the surface. But still a pretty nice ewe, again, especially from a balance and build perspective. We go to ewe number 3, and I think she's one that obviously the first thing I noticed about her is power is not an issue. She's big-footed, she's stout-boned, she looks like a good round-bodied ewe that's really big forearmed. I'd say she's got a big top in her. You get in behind her, I bet she's stout pinned and opened up underneath. So power and stoutness certainly isn't an issue on this particular ewe. I start to become a little more critical on this one, maybe from a build standpoint. She looks a little forward in her blade there up front, maybe a little push forward there at the point of her shoulder. Her chest may be sticking out over there just a little bit. You can see kind of in front of that young man's knee. This is one, too, that I think could be a little better in her top line, a little square out of her hip, maybe a little straight in terms of her rear foot and hind leg angle there. And so structure, balance, maybe or build, maybe some things that we'd want to change about this one, but certainly a powered up ewe that looks like she's got the power and body shape that we're looking for. Would like to lay her back in terms of her blade, make her a little leveler out of her hip. Maybe her neck attachment there at the top side of her shoulder could be a little smoother, a little more elegant in that regard. Certainly like to see her with some better angles. But again, that's a female that's got power, no question about it. As we move on to number 4, number 4 is a ewe that's super long spined and very extended. She's long neck. She's pretty feminine up front. We don't have any questions about her in that regard. Look and quality through a front 1/3, I don't think she falls short. Past that, you have to start breaking her down a little bit. I think she's a little up in her spine, a little flat in her loin there right behind that bump in her spine. I think she's a little round out of her hip. She's one that, in my opinion, you initially notice is pretty frail. She's kind of frail there at the surface in terms of her foot and bone work. Certainly not one that I don't think is opened up and just massive as a couple of ewes that we have in this particular class. Maybe not the underlying progression that we're looking for. I'd like to see her a little deeper in that flank. That way she can look a little more balanced and more uniform from the side. We break this one down, not as powerful, not as stout as what we'd like to see. There's certainly some build pieces that we'd like to fix as well. And so if we're just looking at these things from the big picture, I think we got to start wondering where we might want to put this particular female and maybe see if she might fit there on the bottom side of a card in this particular lineup. Again, has some quality, has some femininity, just a few more red flags in this particular ewe in comparison. So we get all 4 of them here to the forefront here and have all 4 of them to look at. I guess in my opinion it sorts into a middle pair between 2 and 3. I think you have the one ewe there on the far left that's awfully nice. Boy, is she complete. She has all those things as far as balance, pattern, build that we're looking for, and combines that with the extra power and stoutness to go. And so I think she's really, really nice. I think you got to start her on the opposite end of the spectrum. I see number 4 as a pretty easy bottom. Again, if you were going to talk a set of reasons on this class, certainly wouldn't want to get too hard on her. She does have some good things. She is feminine up front. She's long. She's extended. We see all that performance that she brings to the table. The problem is she's a little too frail, a little too closed up and narrow. I just wonder about her from a build perspective in a couple areas, especially talking about her spine and her loin there, maybe even the point of her shoulder a little bit. 2 ewes here in the middle that I think are totally different. I think you got a ewe that's a little more powerful, a little bigger forearm, a little bigger legged, number 3. And I think you got one that's a little more elegant, a little better in her angles, a little better from a build perspective. And in terms of pattern, I'd certainly side with 2. In the end, I do think 2 needs to beat 3, but I think if there is a pair that you can switch or think about switching in this particular class, it might be in the middle. I'd stick with 2 over 3, though. And so when we come to an official on this particular class, I like them 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'd cut you 5, 3, and 6. You got to do the big easy things. You have to start number 1, and you have to put number 4 bottom. You can do some different things there in the middle. But a nice class sorts into a middle pair. You definitely want to let that be known. If you were talking this class in your opening statement, you want to say, hey, 1 wins pretty easy. A nice middle pair, they differ. I like the extra look and quality that comes with 2. In a bottom pair, you just can't do much different but to stick with the extra power and dimension that comes with that 3 ewe and try to just run with that. Again, nice class of Wether dams, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cut them 5, 3, and 6. Hope you guys have a great week. Thanks.